services to those folks, everything from free trees and smoke detectors, security checks from LMPD, spay-neuter vouchers, home repairs, all sorts of wonderful things. And we also capped off our Bob initiative in Wyandotte Oakdale with our Big Bob Day recently, and we were able to have a resource fair, a kids zone, many buses from Tarks and Big Brother, Big Sisters, as well as a vaccine clinic from Louisville Metro Animal Services where we vaccinated over 70 animals. It's a really wonderful initiative, and we're really excited to be proactive as a city government in people's lives and help make change for the better. We've got 2 murals which are to be installed in the Wyandotte Oakdale neighborhood, as well as a few safety initiatives on our streets. And so while we're working on those, we're also gearing up for our next Bob event, which will be held in the St. Joseph neighborhood this fall. And so we're really excited to bring all of the wonderful things that our Bob program has to the St. Joseph neighborhood. And with that, I'm going to turn things over to Councilwoman Donna Purvis to give some updates.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here and helping us carry the message out to our constituents about what's going on in these districts. I wanted to point out some highlights. We are doing some lighting to improve public safety in District 5. Lighting being updated and improved in the 1900 block of West Main Street, as well as South 35th Street. And also wanted to let it be known that I have concerns about some of the safety of some of the intersections at 30th and Market, a continuous Northwestern Parkway, 33rd Street, as well as 34th and Broadway. As we mentioned prior to today, there is a potential danger of cars crashing into each other going east and west. So these are things that we've been working with Public Works and the engineers to see how we can make a change so that these areas can be safe for the motorists. And I also want to give an update, and this is an update that I'm proud to share with you all, that we have an extensive paving program that is extending from the Shawnee neighborhood to the Portland neighborhood. So wanted to let it be known that they will be doing prep work, milling work prior to doing the actual paving. So please pardon the disturbance and interruption while we get these things done to make your roads safer to be on. Thank you. If you have any questions, please feel free to call my office at 502-574-1105. And if you need to subscribe to my newsletter, you can do that by emailing me directly at donna.purvis@louisvilleky.gov. Thank you.
I'm Councilman Ken Herndon, District 4. Some infrastructure projects that we have. We are completing the improvements to the front of California Community Center, the major renovation of the front. They will finally have ADA compliant entrances. And we're also fresh painting the entirety of the community center. And we'll follow in the new budget year of neighbor suggested improvements to the rest of California Park. We are also moving the chess tables from the blazing sun into the shade once the front of that center is done. We have some extensive paving, particularly in California and Clifton Heights. We are spending $50,000 in sidewalk repairs. Some of those requests have gone back as far as 2020. Those of us who represent older neighborhoods know that we have much older sidewalks and they need more repairs than some other places, and so we're trying to catch up with that workload. We are also working on the 11th Street reconstruction between Muhammad Ali and Chestnut next to Clovis Taylor School, which has been a big mess for a long time, and we think that'll be done by August 1st. We're also on that project adding ADA compliant ramps on each end of the project, and the sidewalk will be removed in favor of an asphalt to asphalt transition from Muhammad Ali Boulevard to 11th Street. And we are also adding 15 banners that mark the perimeter of the Clifton Heights neighborhood. Now, Councilwoman Hawkins.
These projects reflect the caucus' continued focus on making investments that strengthen Louisville's neighborhoods and support residents in every corner of our city. Now we'll move into community announcements and updates from members about events and initiatives happening across Louisville this month. And I'll start myself. But first, I kind of want to touch on the highways. The highways have affected, I believe, our entire city. Not only I want our constituents and the city to understand that it also affects my colleagues. We've gotten an enormous amount of calls just about the highways, the traffic. So I would advise, just be patient. Those that are leaving out in the morning, at night, leave out extremely early to make sure that you can get to work, and to get to your destination, on time. And we do apologize for that, but that is something that our offices do not control. I want to speak about District 1. We're going to be having Cutter Home Southwick Day. That is this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. I encourage everyone to come out to Russell Lee Park. Then June the 27th, we're going to be having District 1 and D'Angelo Russell Day. That's going to be from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. at Algonquin. Now I'll pass it along to any of my colleagues that would like to speak on community events that they're going to be having in their districts this month.
I'm happy to announce that this weekend we will have the Portland Festival. It will kick off with a parade this Saturday at 12 in the 2200 block of Portland, which will extend down to 33rd and Portland Avenue. It will be a 3-day festival right there at the intersection where the library is. I also wanted to point out that this weekend starts the Dirt Bowl. So there's a lot of community momentum in the Dirt Bowl. I'm excited about it. Feel free to come out to Shawnee Park and see some real basketball talent that's going to go on for about 6 weeks. So this is the start of the Dirt Bowl this coming weekend in Shawnee Park. Starts Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. If you can't tell by my attire, I'm ready for some fun in the sun. District 3, on top of the infrastructure things that don't sound as sexy, having fun, having resources, having the ability to connect people in communities is very important for our office. So I am Shamika Parrish-Wright, the councilwoman for District 3. And I was just chit-chatting with my colleague that we always end up having events on similar days. But for the month of June, we have our District Advisory Board. It's right here at Metro Hall, and that is going to be at 6 p.m. That's on June 16th at 6 p.m. And this is where we invite all our neighbors and the people who live in District 3 to come talk about your issues, deal with constituent concerns, anything that matters to you, legislation. This is the time to do that, and that is June 16th. On June 27th, we're having our version of building our blocks, and this one is centered on our seniors, making sure that they have all the resources that they need. And so we're excited because it's on 2202 Dixie Highway, and it's June 27th, and we're excited to have this because it's 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., so I'll get to attend Councilwoman's event. But this is important for our seniors to make sure they have resources. We already participate in a lot of other programs to make sure there's air conditioning and things like that, but this gives them more opportunity to connect. It's open to everyone. We'll have Metro services there. There'll be a great deal of people there, so we're looking forward to that. The last thing I'll say is we're about peace. We want peace in District 3. We want peace for our whole city, and so we've been investing in opportunities to connect to community as well as our young people. So we have extended our Gyms Over Jails, and we're going to support that program again. We're partnering with District 15 for a 50-50 mentoring group to make sure that the programming that they're doing is successful. And so we're looking for all opportunities to connect community and promote peace. There's a lot of nonviolent activities to keep kids busy. That's how I kept my 6 busy and out of trouble, is by keeping them busy. So please connect with District 3. Our newsletter comes out every other week, and there's so many opportunities to stay connected. Thank you.
Lots going on in District 15, but I will remind folks of the Germantown Snitzelberg Blues Fest that's happening this Friday and Saturday in the evenings on Hickory Street, adjacent to Check's Cafe. So we're very excited about that happening this weekend.
Thank you. 2 things coming up this weekend. One is the Butchertown Art Fair on Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on the 800 and 900 blocks of East Washington. And also Saturday morning, we are hosting the Orange Walk against gun violence. We are partnering with Moms of Murdered Sons and Daughters, Moms Demand Action, and No More Red Dots. For the first time, all three organizations are having a walk together this year. It'll begin at 10, we'll line up at 10 o'clock behind the Goodwill at 28th and Broadway. We will leave on the walk at 11. We'll walk over to Alberta Jones Park, where we will have an event there. We are very proud to do that, and part of that as well is that we have arranged for the Big Four Bridge, the Convention Center, and the former LG&E Tower at 3rd and Main to be lit up in orange that night.
All right, we'll take any questions that anyone has.
You mentioned that you've gotten a lot of calls and complaints. Have you gotten any calls about like trucks in the individual neighborhoods and districts?
Well, trucks is in our district all the time, parked, just parked. And of course, we work on that by individual basis, but just not as much as, we've been getting an enormous amount of calls within the last couple of weeks about the highways.
Sure. I think that anybody around Louisville right now, especially in our communities that are around 65, have seen trucks in places that they shouldn't be. I was actually doing an interview with someone this past week, and as soon as the camera went off, a big semi-truck came down, and we looked at that and said, that's not usually there. So we are aware that these trucks are ending up in places that they shouldn't be, and they're also ignoring some of the signs that are already up. I have the distinct honor of having the can opener in my district. I don't think, oddly, she's a legend, and everyone loves her lore, and I think that people were actually more excited that she had eaten 5 times the other day. So we have put up additional signage. There is an in-cab notification that goes out to truck drivers whenever they're coming up on that. That's not something new that's always existed, but that's just something that truck drivers have either chosen to ignore or just didn't know was happening. So we are aware of those large trucks on our streets, but something else that my district has been dealing with, as well as District 6, is additional closures that are happening on streets that don't have anything to do with the 65 project. For example, Goss Avenue, Logan, and Shelby has a lot of work going on, and we just got a notification that that's closing down for 2 weeks later on this month. And so when I was coming down here yesterday, my street was closed. There was work going on Logan. Breckenridge was closed. So it really felt difficult to get anywhere, and none of that work had to do with the 65 closure. So one of the things that we're asking for and always advocating for is more communication from KYTC with our local departments, and also planning for closure work in a more sensible way. Before 65 closed down, I'm not really sure why they thought it was important to start work on 71 or not complete that work before we close down 65. So it's short-sightedness, and nobody seems to want to claim it, but we're all dealing with the consequences of it.
And then you have to deal with your constituents, including you versus
Yes.
other people who are making those decisions.
Absolutely. It is very difficult because KYTC, they're not very communicative. And so when people are complaining to us, we're trying to react in the best ways that we can. I know that our Public Works Department, for example, on a sign that was down on Eastern Parkway near the expressway, it had been down for over 6 months, and we had been asking for it to be put up. And it was finally got to the point where I told our Public Works Department about it, and within 24 hours we were able to get that sign put back up. It was a one-way do not enter sign. I would argue that that's an important sign that we have put up. But when we were asking KYTC to put that sign back up, they responded and told us that there was nothing that they could do. They have a 3-person crew that works across 5 counties. And if we really wanted to make change, then we would ask for budget changes at the state level, which we all know this year was a budget year. So that budget process won't happen for another 2 years. So again, we see people that are just pushing things off, not taking accountability or looking for creative ways to solve the solutions that are impacting us all.
As we look ahead to the weekend, and you guys mentioned so many events going on in your respective districts, we've we've also been covering like several pedestrian-related incidents, especially now you add in these closures. So anything you would like to say to your constituents about that?
Sure. I know that some folks want to say some things. There was an accident that happened last night where a car overturned on Ash and Horitz Avenue over by Houck's Corner. This is an intersection that we have been asking and asking and asking for a four-way stop to go in, yet those requests have fallen on deaf ears. But it is also important to point out that since my time started on council in 2023, we've gone through 4 public works directors, and we've started a Department of Transportation. And so we're going to continue these conversations, continue these requests, but hoping that people will stay in these roles to actually make change.
I'm just going to piggyback on Councilwoman Chapo. Oftentimes, we will ask for studies, like I mentioned earlier, 30th and Market, 34th and Broadway, and they always come back with what the study says, or the study didn't confirm this, didn't confirm that. Now, we have to ask for the study, and we're looking for the study to say, yes, this is what is needed as a safety measure. But when the study comes back that says something different, I don't like that. And so I tell them, you all go by all these studies, but you all do not really know and understand the impact that these have in our direct districts. Our constituents don't want to hear the study didn't say, or the study said, what have you. They just want to be safe. And so I've said this over and over again, study or not, give us what is needed to protect our constituents in our districts. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Thank you.
Sure. I just want to add that I've always said that District 3 is a major artery to our city, so I really appreciate your question. Also, it affects our budget. As Councilwoman Chappell mentioned, in our budget proposal, we have so many dollars that are dedicated towards those infrastructure improvements, and we've had a lot of that around Millers Lane and Watson Lane in our district, where they're already a major thoroughfare for people that are driving the big trucks. Well, it's causing a lot of erosion, and so we, out of the monies allotted, we're taking a great deal, and I'm also adding CIF funds to improve those areas around there. And it does take a while to get that done. So with the rerouting of the traffic, all of the extra trucks coming through, I'm also worried about pedestrians as well as the erosion of the communities that already need the infrastructure support. And as it was alluded to here, when so many different roads and intersections are governed by KYTC, and then the communication isn't there, it really makes it hard for us to do our job. So we will continue the conversations and the communications, but it's really been hard. I do encourage our constituents to continue to reach out and to let us know where these issues are. What we do in our office is send someone there, take pictures so that we can use that in our advocacy for that work. Also, what didn't get mentioned, and I got permission from Councilwoman Purvis to mention, I believe that's your district. In District 5, there is a big event. It's the 4th year for this event. Future Ancestors 502 is hosting their Race for Justice. And this is a great opportunity. It is at the Norton's Sports Complex, right it's at 30th and Market. And so we're excited about it. I want to call it the Urban League, but it's exciting that this is happening. The first races were the really fast runners to the relays and all those races at 8 a.m. Many of the other races start at 9 a.m. It's not too 9:30. It's not too late to sign up. FutureAncestors502.org. Let's get out and support those youth. Again, this is an anti-violent way. This is also a way to keep pedestrians off the street. They can run on the track, and it's an exciting event to be a part of. Thank you.
And back to the I-65 closure for a minute. That closure intersects my district and just to the south, Councilman Lineker's and then Councilwoman Chappell's. I represent the CBD and then a little bit of Smoketown and a little bit of Louisville. And then from that point south, it's all it's pretty much all neighborhoods. I would, to our trucker friends who might be listening or watching, we love the goods that you bring us, but if you could just put your trucks on Broadway, downtown, the east-west, they've got 6 lanes. Broadway can handle it, but the streets south of there and the neighborhoods just can't. So please just come to Broadway, and after the closure is finished, keep doing that rather than cutting through neighborhoods on narrow streets. They're not built for that, and we'd like to ask our friends to respect that and use another route.
I'm going to say one more thing to the truckers. I'm going to send a message to you, so I hope you're listening. Please stop parking in our residential neighborhoods. It is becoming a danger to the residents that are trying to come out into the intersections. They can't see past your vehicle. And I'm going to be honest and say, when they call me about your trucks being on their residential streets, I'm going to call the police and see if they can get it towed away. And it's going to be expensive. So this is not a threat. I have to protect the safety of the residents in District 5. And I think they're telling me that these truckers are parking their trucks and they're taking an Uber somewhere to another hotel or what have you. I don't know who sent the message that it was okay to park in these West End residential neighborhoods, but it's not okay. So I'm letting you know now, when they call, and I'm sure my West End colleagues will do the same thing, Councilwoman Hawkins, Herndon, Parrish Wright. When we get these calls, we're going to handle them according to the law. Thank you.
All right, so hopefully everyone got our messages. And for those truck drivers, please do not park in neighborhoods and communities. They do tear our streets up, and it just tears the streets up, and it just can't handle it, right? And those are our taxpayers' dollars. So with that being said, I want to thank you all for coming out today, and I appreciate you all.